Hey guys, welcome. Today, PS5 Pro, PlayStation VR2. What's it mean? Where are we? What do we hope for, number one? Oh God, the hopes. Our hopes were high. Are we asking too much? We wanted, there's AAA games, you know, Resident Evil, GT7. We just wanted them without reprojection. Call of the Mountain. God, I would dream about how good Call of the Mountain would look when, even just in that first boat ride, you know, when those big bloody things are walking past and you're just seeing that ghosting after it, that reprojection. And, you know, I jump into Red Matter and I'm just in that lobby and I'm looking around and I'm thinking to myself, I'm not crazy. The 120 hertz native just adds so much realism and just you feel like you're in the world when you turn your head and nothing ghosts. I mean, you know, if you've played the game, it's insane. Every time I jump in, I'm like, wow. You know, I played Metro, was finishing playing Metro, and two things. Why isn't Vertigo Games already utilizing what the PlayStation 5 and the VR2 can do, even before we get to the Pro? I'm thinking they're not making use of the tech here. Why aren't they adding foveated rendering? Or at least giving us an option, like Into the Radius does, of a performance mode or a quality mode. And like they're saying, most of the time people choose performance mode because that ghosting, that reprojection really takes you out. So this is my first sort of complaint is, and I know a lot of people are saying this, we feel like we're not even making use of the PlayStation 5. Now, I'm not saying the Pro should come out. I was so excited, 100% the Pro should come out. We need the best hardware we can get. The problem is with the developers. Why isn't Vertigo Games making the game as great as it can be on the PlayStation VR2, like Red Matter does? Look, I think Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil, they are pushing everything to the limits. It's so clear, it's so crisp. But they've obviously opted for more detail, crisper graphics, and running it reprojected. That's their decision. I'd love them to give us the decision whether we get to play reprojected or we get to play a performance mode. I would give up a few of those things to have that smoothness. I get it, it's a trade-off. But looking at Into the Radius, the trade-off wasn't that big for me. The moment I clicked into performance mode, I was like, oh, I feel like I'm here. I feel like I was in the environment. Even if there was a few less bushes around, I was like, this is great. But anyway, back to the Pro. I love the Pro came out. I don't care how expensive it is. They're not trying to rip us. This is how much good hardware costs, in my opinion. I just wish these game developers were as excited as we are about fully utilizing the power of the PS5 Pro for VR. I mean, if they made a performance mode on Horizon now, running 90 native, with a few less graphical details, same sharpness, just maybe less assets, maybe a little less lighting. God, that would sell it. Imagine GT7. Imagine GT7 with no reprojection. Same sharpness, we don't need to increase that. Just can we get to 90 native on that? Can we do it? I just want to know the answer. I just want them to say, sorry guys, we can't do it. But there's no communication. So we're left here just hoping and waiting and dreaming. Wouldn't it be nice if they just said, it's not coming? Surely they know. I'd love that. If anyone knows, please comment. Love to know your thoughts on this, but they're the dreams. I mean, as we know, GT7 unreprojected would just make all the difference. What do we know? What has the Pro done for VR2 that we know? Well, we know Vertigo runs buttery. It's not crisper or clearer, there's not more assets in it. The graphics isn't better, but the frame rate being variable is now running a lot smoother and is totally playable. That's brilliant. That's amazing. Why don't they add foveated rendering on that? I don't know. I know it's just one guy. The game's amazing. I love the game. But why don't we have that? Imagine that with the PS5 Pro. I mean, that would be amazing. I want to play that game again with no frame rate drops. That's how much I love that game. We know No Man's Sky got a patch. People are saying it's clearer. It's still reprojected, but I get it on that game. That game is a hog. It needs so much power. I've got a friend with a Quest 3 and a 4070. He can hardly get the game running on it. So it's amazing that it even runs on the PlayStation VR2 on PS5. But I just was in there yesterday and I was looking at the water and it is not good. Like, it is a shimmering mess. I still love that it's on VR. I love that we can play it, but it's still so much shimmering and it's so unclear that it is hard for me to enjoy. I was hoping the PlayStation 5 Pro fixed that. I think it's just fixing the frame rate drops, again, like vertigo, but we're still not reaching a native frame rate that's high enough. It's still reprojected. And apparently people are saying it's a little bit clearer. I don't know. This is where I've got to get one myself, but it's $1,200 here. I've got to decide that. I really want to get one so I can see it with my own eyes and I can tell you from my own mouth so you guys can hear another opinion that hopefully you trust. Kayak is another one that got a patch. People are saying it's clearer, 8K textures, which is great when you go up close to rocks and you look at those rocks and they're just beautiful, crisp and clear. I mean, I really want to see that with my own eyes. But a lot of people are saying it's not a jump. It's not that defining jump. There's like, sometimes you're questioning, is it actually there or not? That isn't, we want a big enough jump. I think the frame rate, I think fixing the frame rate in, say, Vertigo and No Man's Sky, that's a really noticeable jump. Kayak already looks amazing. There are problems that we just can't get away from. The persistence on the screen, you know, with those palm trees against that white sky. The mirror. I really think the VR2 headset is underutilized at the moment. They made it too good for the PlayStation 5 Pro. I mean, for the PlayStation 5 and even the Pro. In fact, I wonder now if they're actually going to bring out a VR3 when the PlayStation 6 comes out, at least right away. Because I think the PlayStation 6 will finally be able to bring out, you know, the full potential of the VR2. I mean, heck, even the PlayStation 7 will be able to bring out more potential in that headset. However, don't get me wrong, we don't want to see pixels. It would be great if the mirror wasn't there, you know, and to have better lenses. So my hope is VR3 does come out and it looks something like, you know, 4K each eye, you know, 3800 by 3800, something like that, even 3500, no mirror, pancake lenses, a good binocular overlap, and something really comfy. I don't care if it's wired, it doesn't bother me. It would be great if it had a wire that you could, you know, like the Vision Pro, you could put in your pocket and then it was Wi-Fi, just to take a little bit of that weight off the headset. Maybe that doesn't add enough weight to worry about that. I think the rumble and those things probably adds a bit of weight. But what do you want? You know, I love that rumble. Do I need it? I don't know. So what are my hopes for VR2 and the PlayStation 5 Pro going ahead? Well, we still have hopes and dreams, right? We haven't been told yes or no. We don't know if GT7 is going to patch. We don't know if Resident Evil is going to get a patch. We're hoping. We are hoping, at least for a quality and a performance mode. I get it. The PlayStation 5 Pro might not be able to just bump that frame rate up to 90 and keep all the same graphics quality that it had. We may need to take a little bit off. But I think a lot of people are willing to do that. The other thing is PSSR. I'm not sure about PSSR on the headset. I think if it worked well already, they'd be using it. I wonder if there's just too many artifacts when using PSSR. I mean, DLSR has artifacts, I see them. I think it's great technology, but when you've got the screen strapped to your face, you see artifacts. And I wonder if PSSR isn't good enough yet for use in VR. I mean, because look at the artifacts of reprojection. We could have been told reprojection was this next big thing that allows you to run, you know, at 120 frames. But the artifact isn't worth it. And I wonder if PSSR is the same, if we're just too close to that screen. So I'm a little bit worried about that. Will I get one? I'm thinking yes. I really want to do it, but I also don't want to sell my PlayStation 5 because I want to be able to compare, because it's so hard to compare, you know, from memory, as we know. And that in itself is telling, because if you need the old one there to compare because the difference is so close, that might be an answer in itself. But at the same time, I love VR and I just want the best I can get right now. Now, obviously the best would be a PC with a 4090, and probably still the VR2 among some other great headsets. The Megan X looks amazing. It's not out yet, it's expensive. The PlayStation VR2 headset is a really good all-rounder headset. And I think the better our hardware gets running it, the more we're gonna see that. I think we've been let down by the PlayStation 5, and that's not its fault. It has to hit a price point. I don't think we should be upset that they've released something more powerful. I would almost prefer that if the PS5 Pro was $1,500 Australian and it did fix those problems, I would pay that extra $300, even $600 extra. I would save up and I would pay if I knew I was getting GT7 unreprojected and all those games unreprojected. Let me know your thoughts on that. But if they're gonna make a Pro model, make it really worthwhile. Don't just give us a little boost, make it full Pro. And yeah, we'll save up for it. I don't know, they're my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments, and see you soon.